Narrator, good evening. Today we will be discussing whether or not capitalism is beneficial to everyone in society. We have 5 distinguished guests: Adam Smith, in favor of capitalism; Andrew Carnegie, in favor of capitalism; Upton Sinclair, not in favor of capitalism; John D. Rockefeller, in favor of capitalism; and Karl Marx, not in favor of capitalism. Gentlemen, we would like to hear your opening remarks. Adam Smith, 2. Capitalism allows people to have a chance in this life. Upton Sinclair, 3. Poverty is concomitant with capitalism. Andrew Carnegie, -3. Opportunity goes side and side with capitalism. Karl Marx, 4. Capitalism is a plague that takes advantage of its workers and broadens the range between the rich and the poor. Rockefeller, 2. Capitalism allowed a simple farm boy like myself to become the richest man in the world. Narrator, so gentlemen, is capitalism beneficial to everyone in society? Karl Marx, it certainly isn't. It truly widens the great gap between the rich and the poor. It devastates people's lives. It is one of the burdens keeping humanity back. Before industrialism took place, capitalism was still a burden. While people were living on farms and other rural areas, and life was hard, the hardest part was still making a living. Rockefeller, what? Capitalism made me. Without capitalism I would be nothing. And without me, many people would be nothing. I have created a middle class of people, not rich, yet not terribly poor. Also, if it weren't for me, where would the world be? Without kerosene, and oil in general, this world would be nothing. Technology and industrialism would not exist. The middle class would not exist. We would still live in pre-industrial conditions, living like barbarians. Capitalism drives change. It drives technology. And it keeps humanity going. Karl Marx, well, what about your workers? Are they being paid properly? Are they getting the wages they deserve, the rights they deserve, the respect they deserve? I think not. You take advantage of the poor to benefit your selfish desires, not to benefit society. And yet you expect us to venerate you, as if you were a god. Andrew Carnegie, I, sir, have a similar success story to Rockefeller, and I will have you know that I have built hundreds of libraries across the country. I employ thousands, and I supply hundreds of thousands. Immigrants, such as the Irish, are drawn to this country because they know they have a chance at a job and a home of their own. They also get a chance at freedom and a chance to become wealthy. I also, like Rockefeller, have driven technology. Without steel the world would be a pitiful place. If we still relied on iron the world would rust away into nothing. Without capitalism and I, where would we be today? Would people even bother to work? Would they have any driving force behind their life? Or would life simply be without the spark it has today? You see, greed really is good. It keeps things going. It keeps people motivated, and without it, humanity would be nothing but a bunch of animals. Upton Sinclair, regardless of those niceties, capitalism leads to poverty. Urban living conditions are getting terrible, ridden by disease, dirt, and death. They are claustrophobic nightmares without end. Despondency finds its way into almost every household. Lack of education, lack of money, lack of life. You are a disgusting kind. You and your robber barons taking advantage of the immigrants that come to this country seeking a better life. Only a few people really get to enjoy life. We should have at least basic overrule by the government, making sure robber barons like you and Rockefeller don't abuse the system. In the food industry I discovered the filth and despair people like you cause. Don't pity yourself into thinking that you somehow benefit the society. Can the people even read the books you put into the libraries, or are they too illiterate because they were too poor to get an education? Adam Smith, my system is flawless. You can't say what you want, but if people would all try equally hard, then things would get done, and they do get done. It's not my fault a few people are poor, although admittedly it can be depressing at times to think that I could be behind massive amounts of poverty. I honestly see it from 2 perspectives. However, I do not agree with total communism and total socialism. They may be rising in the rest of the world, but they are not for us. Socialism itself is simply government authority over the economy, which can have benefits, but at the same time, it discourages entrepreneurs and other people trying to do something with their life. In a communism, everyone is essentially equal, but where is the growth, the desire to be the best, the need for progressivism? It doesn't exist. Karl Marx, think of the workers. Think of the long hard hours they work. Receiving such minuscule amounts of pay, they don't deserve that. They deserve something to look forward to in this life, not poverty and death and famine. Unions achieve a little, but they don't achieve the success we need. The poor are being abused and tossed around by the rich. You robber barons act as if you were gods. This middle class that is rising is the only good thing that has come out of capitalism, and all it does is take even more money from the poor. Upton Sinclair, I agree with you to a point, Carl, but I think a socialism would work even better than a pure communism. With no freedom, people will never rise up to do anything great. That is the one benefit of capitalism. It is indeed beneficial overall, but for the individual, it is not. Socialism is the true victor. If you ask me, the middle class, with the government on their side, can become very powerful, and poverty will weaken. Andrew Carnegie, Locke. Rockefeller, what are you two? Narrator, enough of this squawking. Is capitalism beneficial to society or not? All shout, yes. No. Yes. No. Narrator, very well. I will put my own input into this case. Capitalism is beneficial to society to a point, but it does allow for a few lucky people to grow large pockets. It allows a lucky few to smoke cigars and gorge on 17-course meals, and for every one rich, there will be 100 poor. But without capitalism, would humanity ever progress? I think it would, but much slower. Without the competition we crave, we would become blind little sloths of apathy, disregarding all natural human creativity, and slowly turning into blobs. We need something to drive us, but we also need regulation. Capitalism, mixed with socialism, is the best bet in my opinion, but capitalism is beneficial to society.